In this recording, we're going to talk about subject pronouns. We're going to use our chart. We should be familiar with it already. As I've mentioned, normally these charts are used with verbs. We're going to start, however, and we're going to use this chart this time with our subject pronouns. Before you can even begin to learn your subject pronouns in Spanish, you have to know your subject pronouns in English. Okay? So, the subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, and it. We have a we have a they. These are the ones that we normally use. You guys know, though, that in the South, they often use y'all. We're going to put them right there. Okay? Now notice the we is going to be the plural form of the I. And the y'all is going to be the plural form of the you. And the they is going to be the plural form of the he or the she or the it. Okay? So you can see that everything on this side is singular, and everything on this side is going to be plural. Okay, so again, before we even get to the Spanish, there's a few more things you need to know about subject pronouns in Spanish. First of all, understand that in Spanish, we know when you say you, there's two different ways you can mean it, or two different kinds of people you might be talking to. Your friends and your family, and that would be informal, right? But you also might be talking to somebody you want to show authority to, a boss, or someone you want to show respect to, perhaps your grandmother or something like that. So in Spanish, the informal you is going to be here. But the formal you, the usted, is going to be in this box. This is going to be where the you formal is. Another thing that you need to know is that you can be more than one. You can talk to a group of people, right? So I jokingly refer to this as the y'all from the South, or maybe yous guys if you're in New York, okay? So that is this box right here. However, this particular box, this form, when we get to the Spanish, we're going to discover is really just for when you're in Spain. And in most of this course, we're not going to study the Spanish from Spain. So for the most part, you guys will be ignoring this box. But, of course, because we may not be in Spain, but we often speak to more than one person, we, in Latin America and in North America, we still need to know how to say y'all in Spanish. And when we look at our chart, when we want to find out how to say y'all in Spanish or you plural, we are going to go to this box. This will be where we look for you plural. Okay, the last and final point I want to make before we get to our Spanish is that when you get to the plural side and you want to say we, you will sometimes have to consider whether or not your we is made up of a masculine or a feminine. The same will be for your they. You will need to decide if your they is going to be a masculine or a feminine. So let's take a look now that we've been prepared at the Spanish pronouns. Okay, here they are. So the way you say I is going to be yo. The way you say you is going to be tú, and it needs an accent. The way you say he will be él. The way you say she will be ella. And the way you speak to somebody in a formal way, the you formal, will be usted. Now this is the abbreviated form. The written out form will be like this. Let's go over to our plural side. On the plural side we have our we, and you'll see the masculine and the feminine form here. Nosotros for masculine, nosotras for feminine, or if it's a mixed crowd, it would be nosotros. In Spain, you would say vosotros or vosotras for y'all, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay, we're instead going to be saying our ustedes for y'all or you plural. And again, this is our abbreviation, and this is the full written out form. Then finally, we have our they, our ellos, and our ellas. You must be familiar with this chart. You must understand when and how you use your pronouns. So here's your homework, the last section of your homework. I expect you to bring these notes into class. I'd like you to decide which one of your Spanish pronouns you would use. If you wanted to say I, if you wanted to say he, she, we, you, if you're talking to a friend, and they. Then I want you to decide what pronouns would you use if you wanted to talk about Marco, but you didn't want to use his name, if you wanted to talk about you and I, if you wanted to talk about Amelia y Clarissa, again, if you don't want to use their names. And then in number 10, what pronoun would you use to talk about Ronaldo y Tomás? Then finally, for extra credit, what pronoun would you use to talk to Mr. Stewart and Mrs. Holloway? Again, what's the extra for the extra credit? What pronoun would you use to talk to Mr. Stewart and Mrs. Holloway? See you tomorrow.